I think volunteering is just a part of me. I started volunteering in the fire brigade 16 years ago and have been there ever since. I'm up at 5:30 every morning, rain, shine, holidays, 5:30 is when I get up. If I'm not going to work, I like being out on the land. It sort of prepares me and resets me every day. I unfortunately had a marriage breakup 5 years ago and thought I was going to be on my own forever, and me and the dog in a wooden cabin in the woods, which I think suited me really well, but I think the universe decided that I needed somebody.
I think when I first got with Andrew, not one person said a bad word about him, and they still don't. And I know that sounds cliche, but seriously, that's who he is. Andrew is the most giving person you will ever meet. He will do, I'm gonna cry, sorry. He will do anything for anyone. Anyone asks anything, and he does it. No matter what he's doing, he'll drop anything to go and help them. He's just kind, caring, and he's got the patience of a saint.
Nikki has 3 children and I have 1, so it's a family that is truly blended, and I feel they all see themselves as siblings to each other.
Parisian Fires was the first main big event since we've been together, and I had no clue what it would even entail, what it was all about. We had friends over for dinner, and we had just finished cooking. We were about to serve the meal, and Andrew's pager went off. He's like, "I've got to go." I'm like, "What do you mean you got to go?" And he said, "I've got to go now."
Phrygian, I think, was one of the worst fires that I've been to. Phrygian was the perfect storm. High temperatures, high wind, a good fuel load, so plenty of stuff to burn within that area. If you believe in hell, it reminded me of hell. I've never seen anything quite like it, because the embers were just dancing over the road. It was hitting houses and then arcing back on itself. Just weird things that I haven't really ever seen before.
So the scariest part about Parisian for me was when he left that night, and then watching it all unfold and not knowing. That was, yeah, not having that communication was the scariest part. It's plastered all over the news. As soon as you put it on, your channels are just their live coverage. They've got what's going on, so there's no getting away from it. I think the media kind of really sensationalised it in a sense. You're looking at it going, "Oh my gosh, like this is bad." I just saw chaos, people coming and going, and it affected me because I thought, I hope he's okay. Is a friend's house going to be okay? People's houses going to be okay? You kind of then start thinking about things like that. Yeah, started to worry about him. I just wanted to make sure that I told him that I loved him before he went, because I wanted that to be the last thing that I say. Yeah, so that if anything did happen, he knew that.
On the way there, we start seeing a lot of traffic going the other way. As we got really close, we could see police, ambulance already there, directing people out. Kids were distressed and crying, and, because they don't know what's happening. A lot of them were very young, so just a frightening situation. And even adults as well, you could see the distress in their face because they're leaving their life's work. We're told that obviously there's a fire in the back of this housing estate in the bushland. Multiple structures could be impacted, and then we're delegated an area to protect. We put the trucks and ourselves in between the fire and the estate or the houses that we were looking after. Straight away you go into what you need to do. You would see a fire, you would put it out. You would see something on fire. You know, we have things called rake hose where you can rake leaves away from houses which were on fire. You just went into what you'd been trained for. During the night, it escalated. A lot of the fires we go to, within an hour, we have some sort of control over them. But that wasn't the case for this one. I think it was maybe 6 or 7 hours before we had a handle on what was going on. Even though I was fighting the Phrygian fires, I still felt that I was protecting my family, because fire can not only travel across the ground at great speed, but it spots. Phrygian could easily, with the wind on that night, could easily have spotted 3 or 4 kilometres away, and then it could have been not just a Phrygian fire, it could be, you know, a Sunshine Coast fire. There were moments where you think this can go terribly wrong. If you haven't ever seen a fire coming at you at great speed, and it's not just on the ground, it's in the trees, it's in the bushes, it's a curtain of fire. You think, always thinking, oh my God, if my water ran out, we probably would die because the fire would sweep over you. On that night, it got to a point where the fire had burnt enough fuel that it wasn't safe, but we knew that the immediate danger was over. As soon as you get that moment of, oh, it's going to be okay, we've done our job, your body just goes, oh my God, I've had it.
It had been nearly probably 20 hours by that stage. And then it was a couple of hours after that, he messaged, he said, I'm on my way back to the station. So when he first came home, I was very emotional. But then when I kind of saw that he was still in that space, it was like, okay, he needs to debrief. So it was, pack that away, let's do whatever he needs to do. I just hugged him and was just relieved that he was okay. And he said, we haven't lost any houses, we're okay, we're doing okay. So then I just let him do what he needed to do. So first thing for him was something to eat and head into the bath and just let him process what he needed to. It's my way of, I don't know, cleansing myself or resetting myself that, you know, the bath is the way. And I don't know if it's subconsciously that you submerge yourself in water so the fire can't get you. Some people have said that, it may well be that, but yeah. So I had to work the next day. Luckily, I can get away with not doing too much on that day. You know, people looked after me, and, you know, obviously they know that I'm a firefighter. They knew that I'd been to Phrygian. I have just some utmost respect for him to go out and do that, and then knowing everyone else that volunteers within that crew are just like that. I love him a little bit more because of it. I think he's just incredible. I couldn't even imagine what he'd be like if he wasn't volunteering, because that's all I've ever known. So yeah, I think it would be a massive void in his life. The whole Phrygian thing, I think, has opened my eyes to that there's some pretty incredible people out there that give their time and risk their life to support other people. You don't kind of realise that until you're in it, and you see it, and you see the crew come back. That's been pretty profound for me. I believe that a volunteer wants to give back. That's why I do it. I want to make this community better for myself, for my family, and for everybody else.
involved. So I think that's why I do it.